exciting program for you this evening, and we're anxious to get to it, but we're going to start with a little bit of annual business that we need to conduct. This meeting is formally called to order. The first item of business is the approval of the agenda, which has been distributed to members. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved as printed. Copies of the minutes from last year's annual meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as printed. I will now call Julie Felpel, our treasurer, to the stage to give the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mika. Good evening. I am pleased to report the financials for the period July 1st, 2011 through June 30th, 2012. Please refer to page 17 of your annual report for the financial highlights. These numbers were based on preliminary audit figures and reflect the following. For the year ended June 30th, 2012, we had an operating loss of $145,000 before depreciation, bequests, and investment activity. However, due to the generosity of our donors, we experienced an overall increase in net assets of $549,000 after depreciation. As a result, our endowment and trust funds have grown to more than $3.2 million. The Finance Committee is in the process of reviewing the financial audits, and we hope to have board approval in December. Full audited financial statements are available upon request on our website after they are approved by the board. I would like to congratulate the YWCA for all their accomplishments this past year. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. An election ballot was made available to YWCA members in accordance with our bylaws for the election of nominating committee members. The following three individuals were elected to serve by the general membership: Brenda Brinkman, Steve Mitchell, and Connie Moore. There are no directors rotating off the board this year, but the following two individuals were elected to fill vacant seats and will begin their first term effective this year. They are Sarah Glines and Susan Seibert. In addition, the following young women were elected to the YWCA's junior board in the spring of this year: Kara Bowser, Julie Schilk, Terry Gilfillan, Sarah Kuljevin, Laura Boyer, and Angela Thurman. Thank you all for volunteering your time, and welcome to the YWCA. I would like to ask all newly elected members and current board and committee members as well to please stand, and for all of us to thank them for their time. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to call Erin Stein to the stage. She's the president of our junior board, and she'll give a brief update from the junior board.
Thank you, Mika. The purpose of the YWCA Junior Board is to foster participation of young women in the YWCA York, their participation in YW events, programs, the recruitment of other young women, and sharing our ideas and perspective with the YWCA Board of Directors and staff. Each member of the Junior Board serves as an ambassador to the community and works to support the mission of the YWCA. The Junior Board also provides leadership and development opportunities to its members. Our recent initiatives include the annual Junior Board Adopt a Family event, providing 91 families in York who are either staying in emergency shelter or bridge housing, receiving counseling services, or low-income members of our child care programs, with holiday gifts donated by numerous companies and individuals in York County. In May of 2012, the Junior Board helped with the recruitment and support of the 3rd annual Walk a Mile for Shoes, an international march aimed at stopping rape, sexual assault, and gender violence, where men take part in a mile-long walk in high heels. The Junior Board hosts recruitment and awareness events at Central Market, Click Your Heels, and Maidwinds. Nearly 200 people participated in this event. In 2011, we also hosted our first ever Cocktails for a Cause, where we highlighted the YWCA's youth initiatives included Quantum Opportunities, Temple Guard Drill Team, Girls on the Run, Victims Assistance Center, and Access York. Our efforts attracted a crowd of 70 and raised funds and awareness on behalf of the YWCA. In 2012, we also elected 6 dynamic young women to the junior board. A special thank you to all junior board members for your service. As part of our goals, we are hosting our 2nd annual Cocktails for a Cause this evening, directly following this annual meeting. It will be held upstairs in the Strand Studio and will highlight the YWCA's efforts against human trafficking in our community. You can all help our community by committing to advocate and volunteer against human trafficking, which occurs more frequently than most of us realize. Please buy your tickets for $20 and attend Cocktails for a Cause. Your ticket includes 2 cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and desserts, and a portion of the ticket sales will be donated to the YWCA's human trafficking efforts. I look forward to seeing you all there.
Once again, I'm so impressed with everything that the junior board has done during this past year, and I hope you will all attend the Cocktails for a Cause following the meeting. It's really a very lovely event. We will now hear from our CEO of the YWCA York, Deb Stack, who will give us an update on the goings-on for this past year.
Thank you, Mika. Thank you, Keith. I took him up on that because I spoke at the YWCA USA annual meeting in June, and I got to the stage and I fell flat on my butt in front of 1,000 people. So I'm very conscious of it now. Thank you so much for joining us for our annual meeting today. I'm really honored and so excited because we have a very special guest with us today. Dr. Dara Richardson Heron, who is our CEO of the YWCA of the USA, joins us from our home office in Washington, D.C. Would you please stand? And we will hear from her a little bit later. We also have, though, with us the Honorable Kim Bracey, Mayor of York City. If you would stand, please. County Commissioner, if you would please stand. And I saw Bob Woods come in from United Way back there. You're all important. Welcome to everyone, and thank you so much for being here. The program today that follows the business meeting, I promise you will enjoy. We have so much to share with you, and so part of the deal was that I had to shorten my report. The question was what to delete. So I decided to focus on recognizing and thanking the people who were here that helped YWCA York achieve remarkable outcomes in the last fiscal year. First on the list is our Board of Directors for their guidance and support throughout the year, as well as our advisory board and the junior board. But a special thanks goes to Mika Driscoll, who tonight completes her 2nd-year term as board president. Mika, please just stand. I have a gift for you. In appreciation for the many hours that I know that you spent working on YWCA stuff, and also for your great leadership. You were a great president and will continue to be a good friend. Thank you so much. Next, thanks to our funders and donors, to the United Way of York County, not just for the funding, but also for the additional services provided by your committed staff throughout the year. To YWCA corporate partners, who each provided from $25,000 to over $100,000 last fiscal year to support YWCA programs. And that was for program only and did not include their capital campaign donations. They include CBS 21 News, Dentsply International, Gladfelter Insurance Group, Kinsley Construction, M&T Bank, People's Bank, WellSpan, and the York Water Company. Also, thanks to all of our individual donors who are listed in the annual report. Your financial support is significant to our programs and to those who receive YWCA services. Many of you volunteer your time. Last year, more than 1,000 volunteers assisted with YWCA programs and events. Today, there are 2 volunteers I would like to personally recognize for going above and beyond. First is Joe Jeffcoat. Joe served as our part-time Elm Street manager. When the grant ended that was funding his position in June, he came to me and he said, you know, I'm willing to continue on a volunteer basis, and so he's putting in 20 hours a week as a volunteer. That's above and beyond. And I think Joe's here tonight. Joe, would you stand? Is he standing? I can't see out there. Thank you, Joe. Next is Gloria Dietrich. Last year, Gloria volunteered 2,552 hours through our on-call hospital program. She is a remarkable woman who is very dedicated to providing victims with options and hope. Gloria, thank you so much. Would you please stand? Whether you contribute your time or money, we thank you so very much because it takes both. And speaking of those who give both, this thank you is directed to YWCA York staff. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your loyalty to those we serve and to our organization. Thank you for your resilience. And thank you for your determination to keep moving forward. Fiscal year 12 was our single most challenging year, at least for me, in the 13 years that I've served as CEO of the YWCA. Difficult decisions were made in order to prevent a significant operating deficit. We closed 2 child care centers that served about 80 children. It was painful for everyone. And it didn't end there. In the 4th quarter, staff took a week of unpaid leave, and senior staff took a significant pay cut. It was really, really a hard year, and yet, last year, because of you, more than 20,000 victims of domestic violence and sexual assault received services. Because of you, 450 kids received quality child care services. Because of you, 150 kids made lifelong memories at camp, and 330 kids participated in YWCA youth programs. Because of you, 1,500 people participated in health and fitness programs. Last year, more than 31,000 people, 31,000, received quality services from YWCA York, all because of you. I'll close with this. No employer anywhere, no board of directors anywhere could ask for more than you gave. YWCA York is so fortunate to have each one of you. Would you please stand for the recognition you so deserve? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Deb. That wraps up our business meeting. The business meeting is now officially adjourned, and we will turn to the program portion of this evening.
was stumbling down the block. I wish you just didn't see me. Don't pull this leg.
Okay, now what you've all really been waiting for is the program portion of the meeting, and we have a great lineup for you in store today, beginning with several testimonials. We have April Womack, Kamal Washington, and Stephanie Maher, and they're seated with me behind the podium. I want to thank them for being here today to share their stories. We have one child care testimonial, followed by two from Victim Services. One at a time, each woman will introduce herself and share her YWCA personal experience.
Hello, my name is April Womack. I am 32, and I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, and best friend, and a mother of 4. I had 2 girls, 2 boys, 10, 7, 5, and 4. My youngest 2 will have gone to the YWCA for pre-K counts. My youngest son is still there. And I have to really say thank you to you guys because Miss Angie Sparks over there helped me get in to the pre-K counts. Now, I didn't think I was going to be able to get into this program, and she helped us get involved, helped me get there with me and my husband's account. But one day, me and my girlfriend, Christina Bowie, she's another parent that belongs in pre-K counts. We were talking one day, and we decided to just talk about our issues and try to figure out, like, what can we do, what can we give back to the women that live here in this county. There's so many issues, there's so many heartbreaks, there's so much abuse, there's so many heartaches, but there's nothing here to actually say, I don't want to judge you. We don't need to judge anybody. So we came up with a program called Encouragement Women's Group. All because Miss Angie over there, she really encouraged us to be involved. And that's why I appreciate the teachers too, because now my son, one of them really doesn't talk that much. One is very active, but they handle my kids very well. And I just am very appreciative, and I just want to say thank you.
Hi, my name is Kamala Washington. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, I was involved in occurrence of domestic violence. My husband shot me outside of our home, and my son watched. So we both went through a very traumatic experience. As soon as I was in the hospital, the first day, I say maybe that evening, a woman came into my room, and I thought, oh God, news reporters are here. How did they find me? I thought I was not supposed to be listed, and nobody would know that I was in the room because of what happened. But it was Miss Kristen Seacrest from Victim Assistance Center, and she came in. She was very warm, very caring. She just had a presence about her that let me know that this was just not her job. This was something that was very special to her. It was something very near and dear to her heart, and that she really cared and was concerned about what I had just went through. She came to my hospital room several days. She helped me with my PFA. She brought other workers from YWCA in. After I was discharged from the hospital, she also helped me enter transitional housing with that program. That was great. I was able to attend battered women's support groups. My son was able to go to child care groups with other children who were children of parents that also had dealt with domestic violence. And they helped us with counseling. They helped me with everything. I don't know what I would have done with the YWC if they weren't there to support me as much as they did. I spoke with a lot of women there, and just being with a group of people that had been through similar situations that I had been through, and knowing that I was around people who actually cared, and a lot of people that do this and they volunteer. They're not paid. They do this because they care. They do it because it's something that's very special to them. It made me very appreciative. Before this had happened to me, I had no idea that YWCA victim assistance, that they even existed. I had no idea about transitional housing or the battered women groups. They always talked to me. They were always checking on me. They knew when I was having really bad days. They knew when I was having really good days. And still to this day, even a year after this has happened, I still communicate with them. I still see Kristen all the time. And that's one of the reasons why anytime they call and they ask me to speak and share my story with people, I'm more than welcome to. At times I can say honestly, I don't always want to, but I know that this is bigger than me and what I want. This is something that is plaguing our community, and it's happening all the time. And really going to bring a lot of awareness to domestic violence and helping people to know that there are places, there are people, there are so many things out there to help us if you just speak up and share your story with others and ask for help. I always tell people that I don't consider myself a victim. I consider myself a survivor, because I know that I'm strong, and I know that every day is a journey, and I'm going to continue to survive and not sit around and be victimized by what had happened to me. And that's something that YWCA has always instilled in us women and our battered women groups, and I want to thank them.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Maurer. I speak a lot about domestic violence, and this might be one of the hardest times that I've ever spoken. And it's because when Katie Mahoney called me and asked to speak, I owe so much to the people of York County, so of course I would say yes. And then so I said, yes, of course I'll speak. And then I said, where do I show up? And she said, the Strand Capitol, and that just about did me in. And I will tell you why. Because for many years, every November or December, my daughter Kirsten Maurer danced on this very stage. She studied ballet with the Central Pennsylvania Youth Ballet based in Carlisle, and every year that group presented the Nutcracker for many years. She danced, I think, from the time she was 6 or 7 until she graduated from high school. So that's why this is hard. But anyway, we need to do it. Kirsten was a talented dancer. She was a wonderful daughter. We were very close. Sometimes we felt like clones. She was an honors student all through high school, all through college. When she was in college, she met her future husband, and that's when she entered a life of abuse and domestic violence. She couldn't escape, and frankly, I'm not sure how much she even tried, and apparently it's because not only did he threaten to kill her, he threatened to kill me. I didn't know that until it was too late. We think, the police, the district attorney's office, that she was trying to leave the night that her husband
It happened here in York County in Lower Windsor Township. And I owe such a debt of gratitude to the people of York. So she's not been a survivor, but I'm a survivor. And the York County people, the victims assistance people, the DA's office, everyone has just helped and supported through this. And so when the other young women talk about awareness and how people help and how volunteers, whether it's the Joes that Deb mentioned, or the Glorias, or the staff of the YWCA, I am just so very grateful. And even though my story didn't have a particularly happy ending, it is a good story for all of you to remember, so that you can help people to take advantage of the services of the YWCA that my daughter didn't get a chance to take advantage of. But what you do is so important, and talking about domestic violence is important. So thank you for all you do, and keep doing it.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories, and I have to say it's going to be a little difficult to follow that. Wasn't prepared for that. My name is Sabrina Duke. I am here tonight as a performer, but also as a domestic violence survivor, and I can also testify to the wonderful service that is the YWCA. I can honestly say that everybody that I have coming to contact with in this organization has been nothing but wonderful, caring, non-judgmental, and have really helped me with my situation. So it's an honor for me to be here tonight and give back a little bit with my talent. So. Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all things. I'm so ashamed, but I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Words can bring me down. Don't you bring me down today. Oh, no, yeah. To all your friends, you're delirious, you're so consumed in all your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness, the pieces blown, left the puzzle undone. Ain't that the way it is? But you are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can bring you down. No, 'cause you are beautiful in every single way. Words can bring you down. No, won't you bring it down today?
Thank you, April, Kamala, and Stephanie, for sharing your stories, and thank you so much for your courage. And Sabrina, that performance truly was beautiful. For those who may not know, Sabrina was accompanied by Rick Azzaro, who was our YWCA York Chief Services Officer and Managing Director of Access York and Victim Service Center. So please give him I now have the honor of introducing Dr. Dara Richardson-Herron, the new CEO of YWCA USA. And that is doctor as in MD, not PhD. Dr. Richardson-Herron comes with experience in both the for-profit and not-for-profit sectors. Previous to accepting the YWCA position, Dr. Richardson-Herron served as CEO of the Greater New York City affiliate of Susan G. Komen for the Cure. She has an extremely impressive resume, and if you have an opportunity to go to ywcausa.org, you can see everything. I pulled just some of the things that I wanted to pull. During her tenure at Komen, from 2008 to 2012, in spite of the economy, she led the organization to record-breaking fundraising success, and the New York City affiliate became the largest Komen affiliate in the world. Dr. Richardson-Herron is a breast cancer survivor of 15 years. She felt it was necessary to make a career change following the decision made by the Komen organization to no longer support Planned Parenthood, which would deny breast exams to low-income women. She will be the voice for YWCAs across the nation, and she has the experience to stand up to that test. She has appeared on all the major news outlets, including CBS, ABC, NBC, CNBC, Fox, The Dr. Oz Show, The Martha Stewart Show, The Today Show, The CBS Morning Show. She was featured in O Magazine, The New York Daily News, and New York Newsday. Our future as a national movement is only as strong as our leadership. I feel confident with Dr. Richardson-Herron at the helm that YWCA USA is a national organization to watch. Please welcome our national CEO, Dr. Dara Richardson-Herron.
Thank you so much, Deb. I have to tell you, with that introduction, I was like, that kind of like me. No, did I say that out loud? I apologize. I really, no, seriously, thank you, Deb, so much. I truly owe a special debt of gratitude to your leader, Deb. Deb has been a strong supporter for me, certainly as I was considering this role. But more importantly, she's been an incredible and exemplary leader in this community. So can we just give her a round of applause? You know, I'm very proud to say that I have been an official member of the YWCA team for 7 weeks now. And I have to tell you, it's been extremely exciting. Thank you, Honorable Kim Bracey, for being here, County Commissioner Oak, and really all of you for coming out. I even have two ladies that I have to single out. I belong to an organization called the Links. And it's an African-American social organization, and not only just social, but it's a service organization. So when I went to the back, a couple ladies ran into me, they said, "We're here." And I said, "Oh, so you're associated with the YWCA?" They said, No, we're not associated with the YWCA. We just heard you were coming to town, and we wanted to come out and support you. So can you just raise your hands? I have to tell you, it was just amazing. But I have to tell you, this has been some of the most exciting weeks of my life. I've worked with leaderships and teams to finalize our bylaws, which have led to a restructuring of our organization that led to a vote which really culminated today, and it was successful. You guys think the presidential election was the only vote happening, but we had a big vote going on ourselves. And during my short tenure, I've had the pleasure of meeting the members of our board, staff, all of our managers, and I've also traveled in the 7 weeks to all of the 9 regions of the YWCA, because I'm a kind of personal touch kind of person. I like to get out there. I like to see the people. I didn't get a chance to see as many of your programs as I would have liked to, but I saw enough to see how tremendous the work that you do here locally is. And I even had to take one for the team, and you know, I did it reluctantly. I thought it was a lot to ask, to go to Hawaii. And I did, and it was just wonderful, but at the tail end of it, there was talk of a tsunami. So I packed my bags and I left promptly and rushed back home to a hurricane. And I'm not sure what all of this means. I hope that it's not a sign of things to come, but you know how I take it as a sign? I take it as a sign that there's nothing that can stop me from doing the work of this organization. And even when I think about it, on the day that I was scheduled to leave New York to go to Washington, D.C., there was a tornado warning in both New York and D.C. So I'm just going to tell you, I'm telling you guys as my witness, I'm just going to make a note of this because, you know, who knows, this may be a sign. But truly, I have no doubt that I'm in the right place at the right time. And if all of that's not exciting enough, I had the unbelievable pleasure and honor just 2 days ago to meet and kiss the most powerful man in the United States and perhaps the world. That's right, our President, Barack Obama. I was invited to attend a small group meeting for about 15 female CEOs at leading women's organizations. And when I shared this with my mom, she said, and I quote, "I really hope you didn't forget your name like you did when you met Denzel Washington." And I very proudly said to her, "I certainly did not, because I practiced it all morning." You know, it has been a fantastic time. But you know, although it's been a real whirlwind, for many reasons, I just know that the timing for my joining the YWCA could not have been more ideal, because it's provided me with a wonderful opportunity to see firsthand the incredible power, passion, strength, and commitment that all of you have to the success of our organization, but most importantly, the tremendous services you provide to the organization. And if I didn't know it before I came here today, after hearing the testimonies from Camila, Stephanie, and April, I know for sure that I am in the right place. And I have to tell you, every woman and every girl has a stake in the success of what the YWCA does. And I have to tell you, ladies, I cannot thank you enough for your testimony. I wasn't expecting that, but it just gave me yet another good sign that I am in the right place. And so I am really delighted and honored. I think we all know that one of the strong suits of the YWCA is our strong social service and advocacy programs. Our national priorities fall under 3 broad issue areas, including racial justice, economic empowerment, and health and safety. We advocate strongly for policies such as the renewal of the Violence Against Women's Act. And in fact, when we spoke to the President a few days ago, and Valerie Jarrett, we said, please, we would love, we understand you're talking about the fiscal cliff, you're talking about all of this, but we want to talk about protecting services and supports for women desperately need the services, and that includes the Violence Against Women's Act, as well as Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, many of the things that the people that we serve desperately need. But you know, women at the YWCA have stepped up to the plate, always, to make this world a better place. That's what we've done. And we've said enough is enough to the people who don't understand how the world should be. You know, people like the politicians who've made the comments about women and women's bodies and rape. You know, these are things that men should not be saying, and we really have to stand up when we hear things like that as an advocacy organization, and we do that. But women, like all of you, and men, you know, also have been at the forefront of making sure that people have services and supports. I was just blown away when Deb said that you guys provide services to over 31,000 people annually. You should give yourselves a round of applause for that, please. I mean, it's just amazing. And certainly your work around human trafficking by your junior group, around the hotlines for the emotionally and physically disabled or physically abused, providing emergency and safe shelter and support groups for victims of violence and their children, as well as legal and pro bono advocacy. And I got a chance to go down to the school-age children's programs, and I have to tell you, the kids were just adorable. I don't have children. I love children from afar. I like to look at them through windows and everything. No, I'm just kidding. I love children. but seriously, I mean, you really should be proud for the wonderful work that you do. But it's important for me to take this moment while we're celebrating to remind everyone that even with all of the great things that we're doing, our work is just not yet done. Just turn on the TV or the radio, look at the paper, look at the web, look at Facebook or Twitter. Listen to what you hear, look at what you read. We live in a time when the unemployment rate for women is high, extremely high. When over 25.7 million women live in poverty, and the gender wage gap continues to exist. We also live in a country where 1 out of 4 women are victims of domestic violence. And a woman is raped or sexually assaulted in the United States every 24 seconds. And you know, now that the buzz of the elections has subsided and our Congress and President are now decided, the reality is that we're moving into a new political era, and not just a new Congress. There continues to be so much at stake for women of all ages and backgrounds. So you might ask, what can we do? Well, I'm glad you asked. We have to continue to let Congress know that the YWCA is a force to be reckoned with, and that women from all states, races, and income levels are a force to be reckoned with. I don't know if you all know, but now there are 20 women. 100 women will serve in the Congress, and 80 in the House, and 20 in the Senate. And I was at a Women's Issues Forum, not a Women's Issues, the Issues Forum in Washington, D.C. today. And actually, the Senator Klobuchar, I believe, from Minnesota, came on and said, you know, it's a new day because I actually had to wait in line in the women's bathroom. Think about that, you know. Now we have 80 women in the House and 20 in the Senate. And no disrespect to the men in the audience, but we're excited about that, to have women. We think women are really smart. And we think, you may think I'm a little bit biased, but you know, I think women are smart. But we really need to reach out to them and their male colleagues so that they can hear our voices, especially on the issues that are important to us. You know, advocacy is a really powerful tool that brings attention to the issues that matter to us. And we have to unite our voices. You know, there is strength in numbers. We have to tell our elected officials that we need them to assure that our programs have the funding for the critical human services that we provide. And I was speaking to Deb as we were on our tour, and she says, you know, our funding keeps getting cut more and more and more. We need to tell them, stop that. What are you doing? No one can provide the services any better than we can. So we have to urge them to remember the important work that we do. Because when we mobilize, we can change lives. The ladies who spoke, again, show us that every day. And there are hundreds and hundreds of women who have been impacted by the work of YWCAs all across the United States. So I am just excited about this time in our history. I'm excited about this time for me personally as a leader of this organization, but I'm most excited about the opportunity to lead an iconic organization in the United States. You know, I say every time I go someplace, now more than ever, it is critical for the YWCA to lead again. And I'm confident that together we can and will re-engage our base, add additional people to our team, and increase awareness about the vitally important work that we do as an organization. There's just no doubt in my mind that together we can achieve this critically important goal. So I'm very much looking forward to celebrating our accomplishments together. I want to say again, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your advocacy and support for the women and families in your community. And as the new YWCA USA CEO, you can count on me to do everything in my power to make sure that we continue to be a strong supporter for the women, families, and girls who depend on us. Thank you so much for your time. I'm just delighted to be here.
Thank you so much, Dara. And just for the record, I beat you to Barack Obama. You've been there, done that. Dara mentioned the importance of advocacy at the national level, which takes us to our next agenda item, which is a presentation of the Dory Leader Advocacy Award. Dory Leader had a long history with YWCA, dating back to the early 1950s. As I'm sure you all know, Dory passed away in September. Some of her family members are with us today, and I'd like to thank them very much for being here. They're in the audience. Welcome and thanks for joining us. We also have, I know, at least one past recipient of the Dory Leader Advocacy Award with us. Delma Rivera is here in the front row. Thank you for being here with us. Dory was active not only locally, but she also served on the YWCA USA board and on the YWCA's World Service Council. She was widely known as an activist, unafraid to take a stand on tough and controversial issues. She was a true champion for women's rights and racial justice. The Dory Leader Advocacy Award was created in 1995 to honor YWCA York volunteer achievement, the support of advocacy, and the YWCA's mission of peace, justice, and dignity for all people. And Dory made it very clear that this award had to go to a woman. So it will not ever be awarded to a man, sorry guys, but that's part of the criteria for this award. This year's award recipient will be introduced by Ruby Martin, who is our Chief Program Officer and also YWCA York's Racial Justice Trainer.
This year's award winner is Stephanie Seaton. Stephanie is a past board member of YWCA York. She was instrumental in initiating the very first YWCA York Race Against Racism, which is approaching its 7th year as a vital YWCA York event. Stephanie has a personal passion for the YWCA's mission of peace, justice, and dignity for all people. She knew Dory Leader well and says that the quote that described her best is this one by Marian Anderson. There are many persons ready to do what is right because in their hearts they know it is right, but they hesitate, waiting for the other fellow to make the first move, and he, in turn, waits for you. The minute a person whose word means a great deal to others dare to take the open-hearted and courageous way, many others follow. Stephanie, please come forward. Selected by Dory and written by Vera Scott Cushman, a Charter YWCA National Board member. It reads, "We ought to be watchers of the skies with the widest vision, the deepest sympathy, the most sensitive outreach, the longest look ahead, and the most limitless courage. We ought to be inclusive, inspiring, prophetic." Please join me in congratulating Stephanie Seaton.
Congratulations, Stephanie. Okay, next. We have a monologue performed by Ben Hodge, who is the director of our REACH youth program, entitled One Man.
I'm concerned. I've been paying close attention to the messages that our media has been giving us about young men, what it means to be a man today. They would have us believe that being a man is about strength, wealth, and superiority. At some point, we've all most certainly heard and been told to be a man. Take it like a man. Or man up when times are tough. If we turn on the primetime sitcom, I guarantee you we'll see men portrayed as bumbling idiots who can barely dress themselves, form complete sentences, or make competent decisions without the help of their girlfriend and wife. Switch over to reality television, and it's saturated with clowns whose interests are only in amassing wealth, fist bumping, and consuming alcohol and women in copious amounts. Go to the movies, and we find that men are real action heroes. They're tough, strong, and able to muscle their way through any situation, destroying their opponents through violence and brute force. Don't even get me started on video games. I mean, I play video games myself, but the truth is that many of these things are playgrounds for misogyny, graphic, senseless violence towards women, and hypersexual scenarios that have no grounding in reality whatsoever. And I often wonder, is society a representation of media, or is media a representation of society? Because quite honestly, if both are true, I'm scared. Because when you cut through all the confusion and you clear up all the static and all the noise, the real issue is clear to see. We used to say, this is a man's world. And I don't even know if that's still even true anymore. But if it is, then why can't I seem to find any real men anywhere? Don't be confused. I'm not talking about adult males, I'm talking men. And don't get me wrong, there are lots of real men out there. Some of us are here tonight. The issue is that not enough of our young people are seeing examples of real men in the media, and God forbid, even in their own lives. The man who is sensitive, well-dressed, artistic, compassionate, and who cares about women's feelings is relegated to the role of the gay sidekick. Males can't have feelings, and God forbid you show it. And this issue doesn't help with our portrayal of women either. If we're not sexualizing our female counterparts, these are women who would rather find a man who invests in her wardrobe than one who invests in her emotions and well-being. That's another conversation altogether. Listen, I know these issues are going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but I do know that I am sick and tired of people passing the buck or turning a blind eye to these issues. The harsh reality is 1 in 3 women suffer physical or sexual assault by a man at some point in her life. 9 of 10 perpetrators of physical assaults are men, and they perpetrate 95% of all domestic violence. Men, I have to believe we can do better. And women, I am sorry. No more cop-outs. No more excuses. No more cover-ups. It's time to be honest about these issues. And you know what? It starts with me, right here, right now, with my family, my 2 kids, my wife, my mother, the females that I come in contact with every day. One man against the world. One man who makes this world a better place. One man who builds people up instead of tearing them down. One man who loves first and fights later. A man who listens better than he argues. A man who provides even when provisions are scarce. One man who shows his strength through personal responsibility, peaceful solutions, and positive actions. One man who rejects the path of violence and speaks out vocally against those who violate others. One man who takes responsibility for his actions and owns up to them and is open about his failures and shortcomings. But hey, I'm just one man. But I want to know who's with me.
That you enjoyed the program tonight. We invite you next door to the studio for the Junior Board's Cocktails for a Cause to benefit YWCA's efforts to end human trafficking. Tickets are just $20. To end the program portion of our meeting and to get your blood pumping, please welcome YWCA York's Temple Guard Drill Team.
advice you got. Might as well come off this road. Sorry about that. Come here. Come in.
was so good.
Yeah, everything was really good. You're going over, right? Oh, you're...
Yeah, I have to. Yeah. I have to
Turn
go.
left.
See ya.